Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. This is, remember how I had that like baseball shirt that I was getting a lot. I don't know why I did, but I got so many questions about it. Like, what was it? It was like the Richmond Flying Squirrels or something, but for some reason their symbol's an R instead of a squirrel. This one I've got the most things about. I've been asked about what this says so many times, and it says the Reich will rise again. I'm just kidding. That's not what it says. Anyway, but I do get a lot of questions about what it says. There was this one time I got stopped by the cops, and they were like, and they would stop me for some other reason. I can't remember what they'd stop me for, but they said, "Well, what does that say on your shirt?" Yeah, I think they were thinking it did say something like that. Like, I don't know. All right. Yeah, so I want to get this out there for anybody who's considering a career in sales or is thinking about going into sales, because they may have some questions about what they're getting into, what the compensation's like, and I don't even remember what my own expectations were when I got into it, but I think the question is like, are you going to make a lot of money in sales? The answer is probably not. Sales isn't really a job I mean, there are exceptions, but for the most part, it's not a super lucrative career path. Okay, it's sales is a great job to go into if either if you like talking to people or you're at least really good at it. You can't do anything if you can't do anything else. If you want a job where you're paid for your production, like because you're getting commissions. If you want a job where there's flexibility, there tends to be flexibility in terms of like hours, days, stuff like that. It's a lot of sales jobs, or you're going to have the ability to work part-time, stuff like so somebody like for me I kind of check off all the boxes, like I sort of fall into it. But like I said in the previous video, but you don't go into sales if you have the ability to do something else. There are exceptions to that too, and but as a general rule, that's what it is. Now, when I say have the ability to do something else, I mean almost anybody can, work construction, work in a warehouse, work in fast food. You can take jobs like that, but sales is an opportunity to make more money than you would working those jobs. So in that sense, but it's not going to make you the kind of money usually you would be making as a lawyer or especially as a doctor or an accountant, stuff like that. It's not going to be in that level for most of the time. And let me give you an example. My first sales job when I was doing mortgage refinancing, when I was a loan originator, the best guy in our office. So our office had like probably around 30 people, maybe a little bit less than that. The best guy in our office was making like 135 a year. Maybe 140, 145. So that's the best guy in the entire office. And he, who was doing like during like a mortgage refinancing boom. Okay. Now, technically he wasn't making the most in our office. The guys who were making the most were the sales managers, who were not only making their own commissions, which would probably put them in the, I don't know, they were probably making like, the managers were making an average of about 100,000 on their own. But then they were also making a percentage of all their all the people on their team's commissions. So those guys were probably making they were probably in the 150 range also. Maybe even higher, because this place was very generous with, with their managers. And that's in mortgage refinancing, loan origination, which is pretty lucrative, as far as like relative to other sales positions. So that's like which is, and look, 130 to 150, that's good money. That's on the same range as what you, but like a starting lawyer at a big law firm is starting at like 160. Doctors, like surgeons, are paid in the millions. Doctors make a lot of money. They usually own their practice and stuff, and we'll kind of come back to that later. Accountants, same type of thing. So, but and like these are the like it's like these are the guys. Basically, you're saying the guys at the very top are kind of getting the same as what like elite software engineers get, or not even elite, just like high level software engineers or lawyers in firms. Talking about like associates in firms, or like not partners, associates in firms, doctors, stuff like that. That's the absolute best, the absolute highest people in sales. Okay, and but you're going to have a lot of people. I mean, the whole Death of a Salesman thing, Willy Loman in that movie, like in that play, like that's kind of what sales is. It's kind of a low level grind. You're not going to get rich. You're going to make more, like a lot more, like 3 times as much, 4 times as much as you would working in fast food. Probably more even than you would get, being a manager of a fast food joint. But not that much more. Not that much more. You're gonna do fewer hours probably to get it, but it's a typical salesperson working 40 to 50 hours a week. You're gonna get probably you're gonna be in that $50,000 to $80,000 range. You're not gonna make that much money, and because you're gonna find really quickly is that even if you're good, there's only it's very tough to scale. It's very difficult to scale. That's why they're always hiring salespeople. It's like you can only really do so much. You can only make so many calls. And if you're in like the face-to-face business where you're like actually going to businesses like personally, there's only so many. That's even true. You're going to be visiting at most like 15 businesses a day because you're going in, talking to them, driving to the next one, stuff like that. So you're just not going to be able to do enough to make a lot of money. The people who make a lot of money, the only way to make a lot of money in sales is to own the business or agency that's doing the selling. You're not going to make a lot of money selling real estate, okay? You'll make a lot of money if you start selling real estate, take your money and start your own real estate agency where you're hiring other people. Then you will make a lot of money if you're successful. Same thing with insurance. Loan origination is a little bit different. Loan origination, and this would be another thing with insurance. If you can, this is another way, like whether insurance or real estate, where you can also make a little bit more, and maybe even a lot bit more. If you say like, let's say you're doing loan origination or someplace, you'll go into a place and say like, look, you don't have to provide me with any leads. I will pay for my own leads. I will buy my own leads and then do this and then do the refinancing and stuff like that. So, but then you're kind of almost like a business owner because you're paying for it. That's going to be a place where you're going to have the ability to make over $200,000 a year that year without actually owning like your own agency, just kind of as an independent contractor. But again, that's going to be probably your upper limit, is that 200,000. Maybe 250,000. Now, I do know one guy who's in pharmaceutical sales. He's like super good at it. He makes in the 300s. I have no idea how he does it. That's definitely not the norm. Pharmaceutical sales, you're more likely going to be around 60 grand for doing it full time. But like, you're talking about like the absolute elite of the elite there. So, no matter how good you are, you're probably just not going to make that much money. Like I said, if that's what you want to do, make money. I'm not saying you can't go into sales, but I'm saying that you're probably going to you're going to at least have to pay for your own leads. You at least have to pay for your own leads, okay? Or you're going to have to be in a place where you own at least some of the business. Like if you hooked up with some web developer and said like, you do the web development, I'll do the sales part, and we own the business 50-50. Something like that. That's going to be the only way you're going to ever make like a ton of money in sales. Like if you want to be making, over $250,000 a year. So yeah, no, just so I mean, I don't think that, I don't know if people really think of sales as a lucrative career. And again, like I said, I'm not sure what I thought when I got into it, but it's really not. It's really not. It's kind of like the something you do is like the best of bad alternatives. And I'm not telling you not to go into sales. I'm really not. The But I'm saying if it's about money, there are better ways to do it. I mean, like if you've got the option to become a lawyer or a dentist or a doctor or an accountant, and you would enjoy those jobs, or a software engineer, and that's like you say, like I want to make like at least 150 a year. Um, well, that I would say probably do one of those jobs instead of doing sales. So, um, just know it, like with all the different. I mean, again, it depends on the person, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're thinking about it. Not that there, and like I said, there are a lot of great reasons to be in sales too, but that's a different thing. Money is probably not the best one. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next.